combination of affluence, boredom, and secularism. It's lethal. One of the reasons that I stay religious is because I am a skeptic by nature. That's why my Bible commentary is called the Rational Bible. Incidentally, Deuteronomy, the third of 5 volumes, coming out in, I believe, September or October. You can pre-order it on Amazon. And it turned out to be the toughest of the 5 books. Genesis and Exodus are done. There were 200 laws in the 5th of the 5 books. So you will find explanations for things that are either never commented on or not made understandable and relevant. So my intention is to have all of this as life-changing. The Rational Bible, and the next volume has been written. I could spell Deuteronomy in my sleep. Yes, indeed. One of the things that keeps me religious, I said I'm a skeptic, and I got onto the Rational Bible because I use reason, is seeing the idiocies that pervade the secular world. You realize that the most foolish institution in the country is the university. There is more drivel, nonsense, and dangerous pathology taught at college than in any other institution. And that is the most secular institution in the West. So if the center of secular learning is the place where the most foolish and dangerous ideas develop, why don't you put 2 and 2 together? Because there's no answer to 2 and 2. See? That comes from the secular world too, right? The Oregon Education Department has announced that there is no such thing as one right answer in math. Right? To believe that there is one right answer is white supremacy, which is exactly what the Ku Klux Klan would say. The left and the Ku Klux Klan on race are almost indistinguishable. Both have a deep view of black inferiority. So I am kept religious by the fact that the religious world has been the most sane world, morally and intellectually, in my lifetime. It has been the only organized resistance to the left's takeover of language. The only skeptics of this idiocy of universal masking. Most people, not all by any means, most people know it's largely a farce. If it weren't a farce, they would have allowed people to visit their dying parents, correct, in nursing homes with a mask on. Why didn't they? They're either cruel, which I have no doubt. I think there's a serious dimension of cruelty in the medical profession and in the health services. I do believe that. I would not have allowed, as a doctor, my dying patient to die alone. Okay? That act is such a condemnation of the medical profession in this country as to make one weep. And if my loved one were dying, I would get arrested because I would walk in and defy all of them. F you, you pieces of S, is what I would have said, but I would have spelled out the words. You are not going to allow my dying parent to have a loved one present, even with a mask on? Then stop your God-forsaken lies about masks. Which are we to believe? What we have witnessed, and half of America has supported the lying, deceptive, mendacious, corrupt Democratic Party? and voted for it? Nice people vote for a despicable party? These are very bad omens. Yes, so it's one of the reasons I stay religious, because the only place I find moral and intellectual sanity is in the religious world. Non-Orthodox Jews, and I'm not even Orthodox, non-Orthodox Jews and non-evangelical Protestants or non-traditional Catholics, they have been corrupted. And not for the most part. Not all. Not all, of course not. And by the way, I might add, it's not like Orthodox rabbinate has, donned the robe of courage. We won't meet, we won't meet. They should have met like some churches did. But even in religious life, there's more fear of the media than fear of God. Brett Stevens, who lives, I know exactly where he lives, in the state of cognitive dissonance. New York Times brought him over. By the way, Brett Stevens and I are friends. Brett Stevens and I have done programs together. Brett Stevens is a New York Times columnist. Brett Stevens has done a number of PragerU videos. Just full disclosure here. I haven't talked to him about his cognitive dissonance. I don't really want to because it'd be too painful, and I mean that totally sincerely. He works at the New York Times, which just nixed his last two columns ago. They wouldn't publish their own columnist's column because he criticized the New York Times. How do you like that? Their own columnist. Brett Stevens has his latest column is "Woke Me When It's Over." I did not know about this Bon Appetit thing. This is what I mean. The left is crazy. It's crazy. In 2015, Bon Appetit ran an article by the food writer Dawn Perry about Hamantaschen. Hamantaschen is the triangular cookie that is traditionally eaten during the Jewish festival of Purim. Purim is, in fact, tonight and tomorrow. So this is perfectly apt time-wise. It's usually a dough, and in the middle is some sort of jam. Strawberry, apricot, prune, whatever it is. Okay. So listen to this. It was headlined, and he writes, "Brace yourself for outrage. How to make actually good Hamantaschen." 6 years later, a woman named Abigail Kuffler found the article while researching Hamantaschen fillings. She was not amused. Dawn Perry, Abigail Kuffler wrote on Twitter, isn't Jewish. Now, you will say, correctly, if you're not on the left, so what? A non-Jew wrote about a Jewish pastry? So what? But this Abigail Kuffler is on the left. There's no such thing as so what. Perry's husband, that's Dawn Perry's husband, Kuffler added, had been forced out of his job at Condé Nast last year based on accusations of racial bias. Therefore, what? First of all, racial bias means nothing today. We don't even know what it means, right? Correct. But let's say he was. So what does that have to do with her writing about Hamantaschen? Above all, Kuffler objected, traditional food, quote, traditional foods do not automatically need to be updated, especially by someone who does not come from that tradition. Non-Jews do not write about Hamantaschen, or gefilte fish for that matter.